Loki, who was already a conqueror and strong as hell, eats this legendary devil fruit and gets Ragnar. So it's like, his reaction is apt. Yo, what is on Elbaph? It actually didn't exist literally 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? What is on Elbaph? That shouldn't exist right now.
The comment about Elbaph being a D can be taken in a lot of different directions, pause. For me, I've always believed that the D, pause, can be inherited or even chosen by those who embody what it represents.
The statement here I want to jump to, that Elbaph is the D. He said is the D. That I don't know if you're trying to say that the D itself is Elbaph. Like, I think that's not what he's saying here. I think it's like, all right, they're D. Like, that gives me to think Nika. Nika was a D. And does the D family originate with Nika? I think I said something along this way back. Like, I had to lose
Wait,
this.
Nika wasn't a D. They didn't say that.
I know.
Oh, you're just this. Right,
yeah, this is, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. I'm thinking because if they're saying Elbaph is D, the Celestial Dragons, their number one enemy is looking like it's the D. That they can't even, I guess, just form together. Like, eventually, something's going to be undone by their alliance. It's just never going to work out because they're too incompatible with each other. So I'm thinking that to, like, it all goes back to, or we know the Joy Boy was a great threat and everything, right? But it also talks to, like, Nika, the fruit. I wonder if Nika was the origin of the D. I think I said this years back, like on the podcast, or maybe not years too much, but I think I said this a few episodes back. But now it's just, I'm reiterating it. I wonder if I'm getting more into that thought of what I'm believing that the D's came from Nika. And the way they're hyping up Harold, and especially him under the Covenant, I want to know how strong he really was. Because the way they're hyping him, they say like he was stronger than almost anybody else. Because even the way Emu's breaking it down, how he's viewing Harold and under his control, that's more credit he's kind of given to anybody, right? Those statements he said that Elbaph wouldn't see anyone like this. The only times we've seen that is when he mentioned Joy Boy and Davy. He mentioned to Rox that he will not see someone like them. Now he's kind of saying something similar of Harold. So I don't know if he's putting Harold up to that class with them, or is it just for like Elbaph?
The way I understood it, and I guess I could elaborate this more on my point, but it's the combination of factors. That he's an ancient giant, he's this strong, conquers hockey user, who thought in this way. You know what I'm saying? Who was willing to capitulate and do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he would be a heretic, like he called him a heretic to his people. We lost a valuable opportunity. Like, we're never going to get that opportunity again. I think that's the way he was looking at it. Not exactly in the strength or comparing him directly to Joy Boy or whoever. Same. But it was like, yo, this is like our golden ticket to do this, and we fumbled it. I thought Emu's reaction to Harold losing was also like really telling. He's in utter shock. And Emu identifies a few things that I found really interesting here. One, that Elbaph has a countermeasure to the Holy Knights that would deem sending more there useless. So it makes their reasoning for not returning make sense, and it also shows Emu can have some level of like understanding. Because before this, I had to take a second back and think about it. I don't know that Loki had ever left the island. So in Emu's eyes, Loki doesn't exist, and if he does exist, he's just Harold's son. And then Loki, who was already a conqueror and strong as hell, eats this legendary devil fruit and gets Ragnar. So it's like, his reaction is apt. Yo, what is on Elbaph? It actually didn't exist literally 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? What is on Elbaph? That shouldn't exist right now. So him having that foresight to be like, all right, let's not send more people. We'll just lose more soldiers. I thought that was really telling. He reveals that he's clearly affected by using the covenants. Probably more specifically the deeper ones. Like Harold signed a deeper covenant and ended up passing, and he was huffing and puffing and breathing heavily and saying like, hey, is that a cost to me? I can't just send people because it'll be damaging to me, or he can't just give out the covenants. And then they had the number of covenants you're able to give out. I think it was 13 or whatever. There's a limited number, and it does have some hindrance to Emu to do this, which I do like. I know we were in the Emu's so crazy broken. I think this makes more sense and is more grounded in what a shonen story should be, where it's like, okay, yes, I can disperse levels of my powers out at different levels within the covenants, but it is going to be at a cost to me. So how that comes into the fold in the end is going to be really interesting to me as well. 3, the Herald was an extremely unique case. So Lawrence was just touching on this a little bit, but that his status, his strength, his ideals, and his willingness to capitulate were a once in a millennia coincidence that they were never going to run into again. And now, Emu deems Elbaph incompatible as the Giants Island is aligned with the D-Clan in some fashion that we don't really yet understand. Yet in the present day, we see a tone shift. They actively sent out people to go get Elbaph, to put Elbaph underneath their thumb with Shamrock in them, and they actively were trying to recruit Loki. Now, granted, I said they didn't know who Loki was before. In the current day, we know Loki has a $2.6 billion bounty, and we know that he was off island for 8+ years or whatever. It might be longer than that. But either way.
No, it's 8 years.
It's 8 years, yeah. So now with the additional information that Emu's come across in the modern day, it's like, all right, I'm willing to take the risk. I know the measures now. I know what Loki's capable of. I know what Elbaph potentially has if I send Holy Knights out there. And I'm still willing to take this risk. And I was wondering what made that shift for him. Because he's steadfast in this. We're not compatible. They're the D. And you see how he reacts to people who are aligned with the D clan. But he's still willing to do this. Now, I was wondering what it is that made this tone shift for him. Like, what changed Emu's philosophy, I guess is my question. Is it whatever's happening in the Holy Land right now? Is it the fact that Vegapunk's speech to the world went out? Like, what is it that changed for him? Is it Sabo seeing him? I don't know. So I started thinking back, and I started trying to do a little bit more research. So in chapter 1146, Gonko says, one day, the world as we know it will cease to exist. Or so we thought. But a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger. And now it's unstoppable. No one can stop it. The countdown has begun. A vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it. And which side the giants pledges their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. So to me, Emu's entire double-page dialogue here made me think back to that chapter in those words. And it's probably what it is. But I thought a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger. I think Vegapunk's speech is the reason. Now that the cat's out of the bag to the world, I can't let the giants play the middle. I can't let the giants play on one side. I need that fighting force on my side because now the world at large can potentially be against me. And this is the strongest fighting force in the world. So I need that. And I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to lose even Shamrock, the supreme commander of the Holy Knights, or whatever he is, captain of the Holy Knights. I'm sending Shamrock out because I need Loki. I need whatever Elbaph has on its side to help me. I just think it was really, really interesting that like you could go from thinking this way in this point in time in a flashback to where we're at in the modern day is the exact opposite. And I like Emu being that kind of a pragmatist.
You guys all pretty much said some stuff I thought of. And I wasn't really fully surprised about the D thing with Elbaph. They kind of heavily linked Nika with the Ds with some type of reference, but not saying it is. So I don't even know what that means. When it says that Elbaph is D. So I don't know if that's like Kazuki clan type of thing, like connection-wise, or they're like heavily influenced, or it's off Nika himself, and whatever that D actually really even means. But again, I wasn't surprised. The enemy who they always view is Nika and Joy Boy. The only thing I actually have is the D name ties into Nika, and that's what Emo's first foe and first enemy and whatever in there. And he's saying it's from Elbaph's lineage. And then you have, Joe Boy, we don't know if he's a D, but we have other people like Davy Jones and, the rest of the D family. How come Elbaph doesn't have any type of, like, saying or, oh, that's a D? Mm-hmm. Of other, like, Rocks, you have Roger, you have Garp, all these other people, and D's with Elbaph, how come they're not making a reference to it? Harold and Rocks legit could have been a brother-brother relationship attacking the world government. Way that Rocks was talking to Harold, as if Harold doesn't know what D is as well. Like, he doesn't know that part of his family lineage or Elbaph lineage or history. Like, the D thing with the whole Elbaph with him is, like, non-existent. So that's the big thing I don't understand. Obviously, Ewo's been around for a long time, so he knows a lot more and understands what's going on because he's the one who's lived in those lifetimes. And he could erase that history. But again, he's also ignorant to a degree what Elbaph is as well. So I'm like, there's so much stuff that's being said that I'm getting more confused on because I'm seeing characters here and here and now they're connected, but in this part of their history, yet some people don't know about it. They're just like, but they know about Nika, though. But they don't know about the D. And I'm like, what's going on? That's the only thing I would just like, I don't know. Like, I hope they elaborate it more and, like, how come these guys don't know? So that's the only thing I would just say, I don't understand.
I will say this, because I posed the question in the chat, whether Harold should have been a D-Clan member or not. If Harold was a D-Clan member, I think Emu would have had more reservations about letting him in. And I think that would have been a bigger pain point for him to become a Holy Knight and become like closer to this. This needed to be a reminder to the Gorosei from Emu, like, yo, they're the D-Clan. And if Harold is that, he would be the most obvious choice, I guess, here. Yeah. It's kind of already a reminder, like, in existence. Like, they've already have had that conversation. I think it doesn't work if he already is that and showing that in his name.
I'm actually going to hate this, but you think Saul plays a bigger role now? Because he's a D. He's a giant and he's a D. Does Saul play a bigger role now?
No comment. Shout out to Saul.
I absolutely love seeing Emu shown to have a weakness tied to their power. Oda is doing an incredible job balancing Emu as a character. On the surface, Emu feels completely unstoppable in a one-on-one fight, but the fact that their power is outsourced through covenants clearly comes at a cost. That tells us there is a way to weaken Emu by targeting those bound to them. Ooh. So it raises an interesting scenario. If the Straw Hats were to face the Gorosei and somehow defeat all five at the same time while Luffy is fighting Emu, would that open the door for Luffy to land that humongous big punch to defeat Emu? Who knows? Also, it makes Emu's potential defeat extremely circumstantial. But I love that. Everyone knows me and how I view hockey. Whoever has the stronger hockey prevails, and even though that is true, the stakes now exist on both sides of the conflict, and that tension makes everything feel more compelling for me. Straight up. I'll continue. The comment about Elbaph being a D can be taken in a lot of different directions, pause. For me, I've always believed that the D, pause, can be inherited or even chosen by those who embody what it represents. A moment that has always stood out to me, and I've mentioned this many times, is the Sabo, Luffy, and Ace moment where Ace and Luffy go, yo, you want to be a D? And Sabo's like, nah, I'm good, yo. So I've treated that as sort of headcanon, that anybody can just become a D if they choose to embody that nature. And especially when we consider characters like Nefertari D. Lily, who clearly wasn't from Elbaph. That's my first theory. Members of the D clan could become Ds by just taking the name, not necessarily blood alone. The second possibility is that the D clan functions more like an alliance or organization. If the D clan originated from the ancient kingdom, then Joy Boy, who we know was from that kingdom, likely traveled the world forming bonds with different nations. Elbaph, which worships the sun god, could have inherited the name D through that connection. Nefertari D. Lily and Alabasta may have done the same in her alliance with Wano, home of the Kozuki clan and the creators of the poneglyphs. Could explain why Wano might also be a hidden D nation. Following that logic, any land that stood as an ally to Joy Boy could be considered part of the D clan, even Neptune and his family. So, the third possibility is more literal for me. Joy Boy may have been a giant from the ancient kingdom, with his lineage tracing back to Elbaph. His size, compared to Emmett, along with the massive straw hat stored in Mary Joa, supports that idea. If that's the case, Joy Boy being a D could be tied to knowledge preserved in Elbaph. Specifically, if we all remember, the ancient Harley text housed in the Owl Library. And this is where Lino is asking, why don't the giants kind of know about what's going on? These texts can no longer be read by modern giants, but Elbaph also contains a 3,000-year-old structure that hasn't been fully explored. With the mural reveal, we know the story that has passed through 3 worlds. The first world, which we know almost nothing about. The second world, where Joy Boy and Emu existed. And the third world, which is our current world. So, I think the giants always have had this dangerous nature, and that building that's from 3,000 years ago is from the first world. Whoever was the Vegapunk of the first world decided to come to Elbaph and created whatever language, and for some reason the giants just can't read that language because most likely whatever ancient giants that existed that used the language ended up dying out. It would explain why Wano has the Kozukis that could only write on poneglyphs, and they're the only people that could apparently do it. And if they never existed, Wano doesn't know that language either. So that leads to the final possibility. What if the D clan originated in the first world, with Elbaph as its starting point? I don't have a definitive answer. This is all brainstorming, but I genuinely think each of these possibilities is plausible. And even if none of them turn out to be right, I think they're worth considering.